The following may not be suitable for children under the age of 18. Welcome to the Sky Genie Show, the absolute worst show you'll ever hear. I am the Sky Genie, so let's get ready to have some fun. As for Genie Jr, well, he was hit by a car, he's dead. Or is he? He is a special boy. I'd like to give a few shout outs. First to Yuck Nasty of Get in the Corner. You can check them out on Mixler on Wednesday at 9 p.m. if you're in America. If you're in Australia like me, it's 11 a.m. on a Thursday. Secondly, Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup. You can check them out on Thursday on Mixler at 9:30 p.m. Or if you're in Australia like me, 11:30 a.m. on a Friday. Wrestling Soup also has another show called the Saturday Morning Shitbox, which is apparently sometime on Saturday in day or afternoon. But if you're in Australia, it's sometime at Sunday early in the morning. You can believe me about late night staying up for that. But it's an awesome show and you should really check it out. They also do post pay-per-view shows, which if you seen, there is absolutely a lot of them, so please check them out. Wrestling Soup. Motherfucker. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, I am at SDD916. And if you'd like to join our my Facebook page, it is the Sky Genie unofficial official group page. And if you would like to donate to the show to show your support for the show, go to the homepage of my YouTube channel and click on the donate button. You can donate as much as you like, and your donations will go towards the show and helping improve the quality of the show so you get a way better show than you're getting right now. Besides TNA news, I don't really have much to talk about. But I have found a few things other than wrestling that I'll be happy to talk about, and I thought it was pretty interesting. But first, here is a word from our sponsors. Yeah, that's right, sponsors. Is your town being taken over by supervillains? You know, those evil supervillains that try to take over the world? And you haven't got Superman or Batman or any of those people because they don't actually exist to help you. Well, call the Masturbating Monkeys. Yes, the Masturbating Monkeys is a five-team superhero group that will come and save the day. All you have to do is call 1-800-BANANA-SPERM. That's 1-800-BANANA-SPERM. This may not actually exist either. Daddy, was that an accident? Fucking A. Honesty is the best medicine. And some wrestling news, a bit of unfortunate news. Jamie Noble was stabbed outside of his place in a trailer park. Apparently he was coming home from a set of TV tapings, and as he got home, some men rocked up in their car, claiming that he cut them off. Jamie Noble apologized to these men and tried to smooth it all out, but apparently things got physical, and at one point Jamie Noble took one of the men down. Two other guys that were in the car got out and stabbed Jamie Noble twice. From what I have been reading, he was in critical condition, but he might have been taken out by now. I'm not sure of any update. I guess with the more we get of updates, we'll get it out there, but at this time there's no real update on it, and I hope these guys actually get caught, because hell, that sucks. I mean, I don't know what more to say on that, but yeah, hopefully these guys get caught and put in jail. We have a lot to get through, so we'll start with Ring of Honor All-Star Extravaganza. The start of the pay-per-view, there was a video package. It was showing all the champions leading up to this pay-per-view and everything going on. And I thought it was a really, really awesome video package. We then get a shot to the live crowd, and I thought it looks like it was a pretty good turnout for this show. Kevin Kelly and Steve Corino opened the show. The returning Steve Corino, who has been off of Ring of Honor TV for past few months, actually, and well, man, he kind of sounds like Mr. Wrestling if you really want to put your finger on it, but I don't know. I mean, they could be different people. I mean, Sami Zayn and El Generico, I mean, people think they're the same person, but come on, let's face it, they're not. We open up with Ring of Honor World Television Champion Bobby Fish defending his title against Donovan Dijak. And what's interesting is that Donovan Dijak is a 6'6" dude, and Bobby Fish is probably about 5 foot, maybe 5'8", upon guess. And really, you'd think the height disadvantage would probably be come into play, but really it wasn't. I mean, it was a really awesome match. Bobby Fish has awesome kicks that can pretty much take down, will take me down easily. And Donovan Dijak was also really good here. You can see he's a very polished wrestler going into this, and I can't see WWE not picking this guy up, and maybe he needs to get a little bit more seasoning and everything, but from what I've seen here, he's a guy that's absolutely ready for a WWE contract. But Bobby Fish retains via a rear naked choke to retain the title in a really awesome opening match. We then get a 4-corner tag team match with the All Night Express representing the Cabinet versus Shane Taylor and Lee Taylor. I think I probably got that wrong. War Machine versus Colt Cabana and Dalton Castle, with the winner getting a tag team title shot later down the line. There was a funny line in this match where Steve Corino on commentary was mentioning things that happened in Boston. The funniest one I heard was mentioning Shawn Michaels losing his smile, which is really funny jab. And I've been missing Steve Corino on commentary. I mean, I like Nigel McGuinness, but Steve Corino is way better than Nigel McGuinness by far. This was a really good match. I mean, wasn't the greatest, but it was fun, which a lot of these matches on this pay-per-view were pretty much a lot of fun. Colt Cabana and Dalton Castle win the match to go on to face the tag team champions. We then get Kamatachi versus Dragon Lee from CMLL making his Ring of Honor debut. Apparently, from what I've been hearing, these guys have been having a big feud all around the world. whether it be in CMLL or New Japan Pro Wrestling. And from what I've seen here, and I thought it was a really awesome match worth watching. I mean, the crowd died because I don't think they really knew who Dragon Lee was, who he is. And I mean, let's face it, I don't either. But I think it was a really good way to show his debut. And I think, and hopefully, if there's more matches of this, that there's more of this down the line. I mean, a good, awesome feud. I mean, why not? We then have Kyle O'Reilly versus Hangman Page, and to be honest, I didn't really think this match was like the start of the match was really slow. It got really boring in the middle, but it picked up at the end. But I don't think Adam Page is really somebody that's a main event level guy. Maybe it's because he's still a little bit green, but I just don't see him as a main eventer in the United States. I hear in Japan that he's actually doing really well in Japan, but when it comes to the United States and the rest of the world, I guess I just don't see it. Kyle O'Reilly, on the other hand, I thought was doing very good and the best he can to make this match really something. Kyle O'Reilly wins by armbar submission. And there's rumours that Kyle O'Reilly will be the one challenging Adam Cole at Final Battle for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And I think that's a really good idea because that feud isn't over yet. And it's been really interesting of the story that they have been telling. And I think that match is going to be sweet. And if this pay-per-view is anything to go by, and I think it'll be really worth watching the next pay-per-view. And I know Ring of Honor has not exactly been a hot product as of late, but this is a really hot, really good storyline that I think people should go out of their way to watch. Kevin Kelly interviews Silas Young about being the number one contender for the world title sometime next month. Silas Young is a guy that I think has been a really good worker. Him and the Beer City Bruiser, I think is a really fun act. But him as a wrestler on his own, I mean, getting a world title shot, I think is really good. He's a great working heel. He's a really good wrestler, and I think he deserves every bit of that. Next we have this 6-man tag team title tournament opening round with Kushida, ACH, and Jay White versus the Briscoes and Toru Yano. I think I got that wrong too, but this was ACH is was really smooth in this match, and you can see he's improved by leaps and bounds to what he was a couple of years ago. I thought it was really good. There was a spot where Yano cuts the turnbuckles with wire cutters and played a factor. I mean, with him doing the comedy and the matches that involved in the Briscoe, I thought this was a really, really fun, action-packed match, and really something to go out of your way to watch, which I will probably be saying for all of these matches pretty much. We then had a grudge match between former Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal versus the IWGP Intercontinental Champion Naito. Before the match, Naito attacks the ring announcer, and the reaction to Steve Corino was all excitement. I mean, the other announcers were saying how horrible it was, and Steve Corino's just like, man, I want to see that back. I want to see the replay of that. I thought it was really funny. I was listening to Nigel McGuinness, and he actually said he missed it. And my thinking is, he's still pissed off with Jay Lethal for losing the Ring of Honor World Championship to Adam Cole and the Bullet Club. And I have a theory that Nigel McGuinness might be turning heel to join the Bullet Club as a mouthpiece. I don't know why I think that, but that's just how it came across to me, and it would be pretty interesting to see. We then get the semi-main event, Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship match, Adam Cole defends the title against Michael Elgin. This is a really awesome, well-worked match. It had a really big match feel to it. They really worked Michael Elgin's knee, which apparently probably injured when he was wrestling in Japan a couple of nights before. I thought it was a really, really good match, and it really told a story. Adam Cole retains over Michael Elgin, and to continue moving on to face Kyle O'Reilly, which I think is going to be an awesome feud. But this was a really, really good match. And then we go to the main event. Ladder Wars number 6. For the World Tag Team Championship, the Addiction defends their titles against the Motor City Machine Guns and the Young Bucks. This was a very, very brutal match. Daniels took a lot of punishment in this match, but apparently, from what I've been hearing later on, that Kazarian was actually taken to the hospital after this match. But Daniels took a shot to the head with a ladder that caused him to start bleeding, and then there was a spot later on where he was on the ropes. They set up guardrails, like they put 2 guardrails and one over the top of it, like to spread it out, like they do with sometimes do with tables, like on top of the ladders and stuff like that. To put him, the Young Bucks super kicked Daniels and took this wicked bump off it, and I thought he broke his neck or back or something, and he looked really fucked up. Really, really good action in this match, and I thought it was obviously match of the night. The finish came when the Young Bucks gave the Meltzer, put Kazarian through the table via Meltzer driver, then climbed up the ladder to get the titles down. And yeah, this show, I thought it was a really good show. I mean, the main event might have been very spot filled, but I thought it was really well worked and was really one of the best ladder matches I have ever seen. Not the best, but one of the greatest. And if you're really looking to watch a good pay-per-view besides WWE or TNA, which is, let's face it, not everything WWE is great, or TNA, and really, sometimes you need an alternative. I mean, I was also thinking of recording an AAW event just to do something different, which I'm not sure as of recording now, as I do the recording in parts. And really, I think if something different is always good. TNA Bound for Glory opens up with the opening video package of Matt Hardy and the final deletion stuff leading up to this show. It then opens up with Josh Matthews opening up the show. And I hated him already. I mean, I can't stand this guy as a commentator, and why TNA keeps him employed, I don't know. He sounds like a bloated asshole on commentary, and man, he sucks badly. We open up the first match with the X Division Championship. DJZ defends against Trevor Lee. It was an okay match, but nothing over the top spectacular. It was a good opener. It was pretty much a spot fest. DJZ wins the match to retain the title. We then go backstage, get shots of Bobby Lashley and EC3 entering the arena for the show. Then we get a Drew Galloway promo announcing that he will not be able to compete in his championship match because of injury, and that he says that whoever wins the title is not recognized as champion in his eyes. We then go to a 10-man gauntlet, and I thought this was really boring to watch. Eli Drake wins the match and gets the future TNA championship match. And so far, I'm watching this show, and it's not very appealing for a show that's meant to be they're big event of the year. It just felt like a normal Impact show. And if you've seen one, you've seen them all, really. We then go backstage with Jeremy Borash interviews some nobody, but that turns out to be Gail Kim's husband, and I'm wondering if she's mail order, but I doubt it because she speaks English pretty well. Maria and Mike Bennett interrupt, and her husband says that Mike Bennett's in for a rude awakening. I really could care less about this promo, really, and it was not that entertaining to me. We then had Mike Bennett versus Moose in a grudge match, and Moose got a pretty cool entrance coming in with his former football team coming out and singing him to the ring, but the match was pretty terrible of a match, and I don't know why this was on a pay-per-view, but it was, and hey, it was there. Jeremy Borash interviews Aaron Rex, the former Damien Sandow, about the Grand Championship, and we then lead into the match for the vacant championship. Eddie Edwards versus Aaron Rex for the vacant Grand Championship, and really it was a really stupid match with no logic or psychology, and really this is meant to be the division that changes the face of wrestling, and I mean, come on, this was pathetic, really. And no offense to Aaron Rex, but he isn't a guy that to me should be representing a title that's meant to be MMA rules. To me, it'll be a guy like Kurt Angle or somebody with an amateur background, and well, Aaron Rex isn't really exactly that. And I don't blame the two guys involved. I mean, they could probably put on a better match than that, but the way this is meant to be booked, and I mean, I wouldn't have booked it like that if that were me. But then that's me, right? We then have a TNA Hall of Fame segment, and not to shit on Gail Kim, but come on. A TNA Hall of Fame, I mean, they haven't been around for that long, and they have a Hall of Fame. It's a bigger joke than the WWE Hall of Fame. And let's face it, we know that's all a show, and this is like really sad. Nobody takes it seriously, and pretty much everybody that's been announced as a TNA Hall of Fame in the TNA Hall of Fame have all left. I mean, if Gail Kim is leaving, well, it kind of gets the curse of that thing going, don't it? And I mean, maybe she doesn't leave, she'll probably stay for another 10 years, but really, when I've seen people saying, well, she's a legend in the business, I go, well, okay, she defined a division in TNA, but who cares? I mean, who outside of TNA really cares what a definition of the division that she did? I mean, who cares? I mean, I'm sorry for people that will be shitty about me trashing on it, but come on, it wasn't. Who cares if nobody watches it, right? We then get the match of the night, and what I reckon should have been the main event. The World Tag Team Championship, the Great War, the Decay versus the Hardy Boys. And it was a really fun and exciting brawl. It went all around this the Park of Orlando Studios, the theme park. All I can say is, wow, I mean, it was pretty much a final deletion match, and I wasn't really expecting that, but we got something like that. And really, if TNA, and to me, I'm thinking Matt Hardy's probably the biggest star in wrestling at the moment, and yet you put him in a random tag team match. It's not even the main event on the card. I mean, come on. I think even WWE would have put that the main event somewhere on a pay-per-view card. We then had the TNA Knockouts Championship. Maria defends against Gail Kim, and I'm sorry, but it was a really terrible, boring match. I really didn't care one bit, and I mean, credit to Gail Kim for trying to make it exciting, but Maria, well, she sucked. She sucked badly, and that's who they made champion. Please. After the match was a lot better. Mike Bennett cuts a promo, berates the fans, berates the company about holding him down, and then all of a sudden, Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes debut and take out Mike Bennett and Maria. I thought that was way better than the Knockouts Championship match, and well, if that was all it was leading to, I mean, fuck this company, really. TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. Bobby Lashley defends his title against EC3 in a no-holds-barred match. It was an okay match. It wasn't anything exciting. It didn't have a big match feel. It felt like a normal main event you'd see on Raw or on Impact or on any wrestling show that's just out there. And Bobby Lashley retains with a spear. Okay, now what? What? It doesn't really matter now what happens. I mean, I really don't care. I mean, this match didn't make me care about Bobby Lashley, about EC3, or pretty much TNA in general. Overall, I thought this match was a good show, but not great. Commentary was horrible the whole show. But I can't necessarily say I hate it. But it was there. It wasn't one of the greatest Bound for Glories for sure. If that's what you need to know, it wasn't exactly the worst either. I mean, that one they had in Japan was was probably the worst one they ever had. But to me, this is meant to be the biggest pay-per-view of the year, but it felt so flat. And really, and okay, WrestleManias get like that, but really, this is meant to be them showcasing more. They almost went out of business this week, and it's because somebody put up the money for it that they are even having a show. But if TNA wanted to blow everybody away, why didn't they put on a better performance than that? I mean, overall, it's a good show, and that's pretty much it. That's TNA. And that would be it for this episode of the Sky Genie Show. Tune in. I'll have an episode up tomorrow covering Raw and any other news that breaks, as well as SmackDown for the next day. Other than that, I think next weekend is No Mercy, I think, and I'll be covering that as well as all the other news and everything else covering pro wrestling. Other than that, take care, guys.